Hello everybody, it's Non-C News here, and today we've got a lot of break updates today. So the first news is coming from the Russian Foreign Minister. So the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made some very interesting statements, which we'll get into right now. So he stated that the West seeks to stop Ukraine from taking part in any peace negotiations, and that the West is actually pushing Ukraine down a path of escalation. Now, that's not the only statements that he made. So the other statements he made is that if the West wants to fix the situation in Europe, then we need to sit down at the negotiating table and start talking honestly. And the last statement he made is that the doctrine of Russia's use of nuclear weapons is being clarified now. So apparently Russia's nuclear doctrine is being changed or clarified, as he said. So we might see in the near future a change of Russia's nuclear doctrine. So the reason of strike of nuclear weapons. So very interesting news and very concerning news that I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news coming from the Russian defense minister and also in Moscow. So the Russian defense minister stated that, and he actually instructed the border security to focus on providing troops with protective equipment, armored vehicles and ammunition, adding that it was more important to generally improve supplies to soldiers than to formally fulfill requests. So very interesting news. And we've also got news coming from the Kursk nuclear power plant. So there's been a pretty bad situation happening in the nuclear power plant in the Kursk region of the Russian Federation. So there's been an ongoing situation at the nuclear power plant that's actually raising safety concerns, the IAEA stated. So the IAEA Director General Rafael stated that on the nuclear power plant in the Kursk region is that he inspected the Kursk nuclear power plant and its main facilities. His first impression on the Kursk nuclear power plant is that the plant is operating close to normal conditions. There is a major danger of incident in the Kursk region, though. He's also stated that his Russian colleagues would analyze how to prevent such a nuclear incident. He stated that he was actually shown the consequences of military activity near the plant and many other statements he made about the nuclear power plant. So the general, the instructor, will actually be visiting Zelensky next week. So he'll be obviously visiting Zelensky about the nuclear power plant in the Kursk region. So this meeting is going to be set up next week. So I'll keep you updated on that situation. And we've also got news coming from the governor of the Belgorod region. So the big news coming from the governor of Belgorod, he stated that the Ukrainian armed forces are attempting to advance into the Belgorod region and actually fighting is ongoing. This information was reported by the governor of Belgorod. And before we actually get into Ukraine itself, let's get into some Finnish statements that the Finnish president stated. So Finland has now officially allowed the armed forces of Ukraine to hit Russia with their weapons. So the Finnish president stated that Helsinki, the capital of Finland, has not set any restrictions on what Kiev will do with these transferred weapons if they are used for defensive purposes and in accordance with international law. So regarding Finnish weapons in the territory of Ukraine, Ukraine can do whatever they want as long as it's obliged into the international law. Now let's continue into Ukraine. That Zelensky actually stated that the Ukrainian armed forces had already used the F-16 fighter jets on Monday during strikes by the Russian Air Force, where they actually shot down missiles and drones. So Zelensky has confirmed the first use of F-16s. So the use was to shoot down enemy, so Russian missiles and drones in the territory of Ukraine. And now let's head to some more news coming from F-16s. So Ukraine has apparently received an exclusive version of electronic warfare from the United States that turns F-16s into real invisibles for the Russian radars, that the Defense Express reports. So apparently the US has actually gave Ukraine these radar these anti-radar equipment. So apparently these make F-16s invisible to Russian radars. So I'm not sure about this. So this is posted by Ukrainian sources by the Defense Express. So I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news coming from a forum. So Zelensky and other government figures in Ukraine held a forum in Ukraine. So this was like a conference where a lot of people asked people questions. So Zelensky was actually on this too. So he stated that the Kursk operation stopped the occupation of Kharkiv Oblast and destroyed Russia's plans for Sumy and other regions in Ukraine. The operation is not related to the failure of negotiations with Russia and a partial ceasefire. Ukraine also apparently tested its first ballistic missile for the first time. So this was stated by Zelensky. We've got no footage of this testing. It didn't even say that it was successful, but Ukraine has tested its first ballistic missile for the first time, and Kiev also stated that Ukraine needs to return its adult population. So there you go. And the last news coming from this forum is that the Ukrainian Prime Minister stated that Ukraine is seeking $50 billion from the G7 without any conditions and for any purposes by the end of the year. Now let's head to probably one of the biggest updates today, is that Belarus is continually moving a large amount of military equipment to the Ukrainian Belarusian border. So Belarus is moving a large amount of military equipment, including tanks, BMPs, to the border of Ukraine. And now we've gotten some pretty big news. This possibly could be huge news. So if we see here in your bottom left corner, we've seen some of these Belarusian vehicles have the letter B on the sides. So if we've seen all across this conflict, different sides of this conflict have different signs on their tanks, their equipment, to mean what part of the front they are or something. So the Kursk Ukrainian operation tanks have I'm pretty sure a triangle to signal that they are fighting in the Kursk region, and the Russian tanks have Z's. So now we've gotten this news that Belarusian equipment are now appearing with the letter B on it. I'll keep you updated on the matter and see that if this gets big or not. We've also got news coming from some statements coming from Lukashenko, the president of Belarus. He complained that the West was trying to persuade him to fight with NATO against Russia. That's coming from Lukashenko. And now let's get into some Polish statements. So apparently hundreds of Polish soldiers have been deployed to be searching for a downed drone for the second day, which allegedly crossed into the border from Ukraine. So during the large-scale Russian strike into Ukraine, Poland stated that a Russian drone actually fell in the territory of Poland. So now Poland is conducting massive operations to try and find this drone. So Poland has deployed hundreds of soldiers to try and look for this drone in this exact region. So I'll keep you updated if they actually find anything. Now let's head to Norway. So we've gotten some pretty interesting news coming from Norway. So according to Norway, security services from 7 European countries have warned of a threat of Russian sabotage at Norway's energy facilities. Norway is currently Europe's largest supplier of natural gas, and now we've gotten news that apparently 7 unknown European nations are now warning Norway that a Russian sabotage attack is coming up soon. So I don't know, we'll wait if it's even true, and we'll wait if it even actually happens in the first place. Now let's head to the UK, coming from 10 Downing Street, coming from the Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is hinting at tax rises in the United Kingdom, saying that an upcoming October budget will be painful. He stressed that a need for short-term pain for long-term good. So this is coming from the UK Prime Minister. So apparently some tax raises might be happening pretty soon across the island. So I'll keep you updated on that. And we've got some news coming from someone that I haven't heard for a very long time, and that is Stoltenberg, the head of NATO. So the NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg has called for a meeting of NATO and Ukraine Council on August the 28th. So today, at the time I'm recording this. So today there's going to be a council between NATO and Ukraine at Ukraine's request. So I'll keep you updated on this council, what's going to happen here. But apparently Ukraine and NATO are gathering in Brussels and going to have a meeting. Now let's head to France, where we've gotten some more news coming from the Telegram founder Pavel Durov, which was detained at a French airport. So this man was the responsible of making the app of Telegram. So Durov was actually supposed to have dinner with the president of Macron on the night of his arrest. So he was actually stating that the Telegram founder Pavel actually told the police that he was supposed to have dinner with the French president Macron on the day of his arrest. So apparently he was meant to visit Macron, who knows? And we've also gotten some news that it hasn't been confirmed yet, but the UAE has apparently frozen a contract to purchase 80 fighter jets from France due to arrest of Telegram founder Durov. So apparently they've withdrawn from this or froze it until the Telegram CEO or the founder of Telegram is released. So I'll keep you updated on that. Now we've got some news coming from Iran, is that Iran has issued a warning to all airlines to exercise caution when flying over certain areas of the Iranian airspace, starting from September the 1st with no end date. So people are linking this to the long-awaited Iranian strike on Israel that's been talked about for weeks now. So Iran has still not struck Israel for the Iran stated the assassination of Ismail, it was like the head of political politics of Hamas. So I'll keep you updated on that, but we've got news that Iran is probably going to be launching a huge missile strike pretty soon. So I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news that sirens are apparently blasting the northern parts of Israel. So sirens have been heard on this parts of Israel. I've highlighted it here. So I've got no footage of this yet. This has just came out. So we'll probably get the results of that attack next video. But right now we've got some news that some sirens are going off at the northern part of Israel. We've also got news coming from the Turkish Air Force commanders. So the Turkish Air Force commanders actually visited Qatar in a joint squadron. So the commanders met with the Air Force commander in Qatar, where they discussed about cooperation between the two countries. And let's go all the way to Asia. That we've got some news that Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, did another weapons test in North Korea. We've also got news coming from South Korea that North Korea has apparently sent over 13,000 containers suspected of carrying arms to Russia. And South Korea stating all these containers put together make up about 6 million artillery shells that apparently North Korea has sent to Russia. So a very big figure and very big amount of artillery shells if it's true. Now let's head to Australia, to Oceania. So we haven't actually discussed about Australia for, I don't think, ever. So Australia is actually introducing a cap on international students. So Australia will introduce a cap on the number of new international students. The nation has one of the biggest international student markets in the world, but the number of enrollments will be limited to 270,000 for 2025. So Australia is apparently limiting and capping the international students of Australia. And the last news is coming from the US statements. So the big news coming from the US statements is that the Pentagon has stated that the US has no plan to lift the current restrictions on Ukrainian strikes with American weapons deep into Russia, despite Zelensky's statements. And we've also got news that, again, Trump and Kamala Harris's debate is going to be on September the 10th. So I'll keep you updated on that. Again, another rushed video. I didn't have much time to record this, but I am non-C News. I'll try and provide you news that medias around the world do not show you. I do these videos hopefully daily, so consider subscribing and liking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.